Once in Egypt, Joseph was purchased by Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. Despite being a slave in a foreign land, the Lord was with Joseph, and everything he touched prospered. Potiphar soon recognized this divine favor and observed how Joseph's presence brought blessings to his entire household. Potiphar was not a man to overlook such success. He quickly placed Joseph in charge of all that he owned, entrusting him with the management of his household and fields. Under Joseph's diligent and faithful oversight, Potiphar's estate flourished. Crops yielded abundantly, and the household affairs ran smoothly. Potiphar came to trust Joseph so completely that he concerned himself with nothing except the food he ate. Joseph's rise to prominence within Potiphar's household, despite his lowly status as a slave, stood as a powerful testament to his integrity and the favor of God. His faithfulness in the face of adversity demonstrated that one's circumstances do not limit God's ability to bless and elevate. However, Joseph's successes came with challenges. He was well-built and handsome, qualities that did not go unnoticed. Potiphar's wife, driven by desire, began to make advances toward Joseph, repeatedly trying to seduce him. Each time, Joseph refused, saying, "How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" His response showed that Joseph's commitment to righteousness was not just loyalty to Potiphar, but, above all, devotion to God. Despite her persistence, Joseph stood firm in his decision to uphold his integrity. One day, while Joseph was performing his duties, Potiphar's wife caught him by his cloak and demanded he lie with her. Joseph reacted swiftly, fleeing from her grasp and leaving his cloak behind as he ran out of the house. This act of fleeing from temptation exemplified Joseph's commitment to purity, but it came at a cost. Enraged and humiliated by his rejection, Potiphar's wife fabricated a story to frame Joseph, using his cloak as evidence. She accused him of attempting to assault her, and when Potiphar heard the accusation, he was furious. Trusting his wife's word, Potiphar had Joseph thrown into prison, despite Joseph's previous loyalty and outstanding service. Joseph's descent into prison was yet another unjust suffering he faced despite his faithfulness. He had done everything right, resisting temptation and acting with integrity, yet found himself wrongfully accused and imprisoned. Still, even in the darkness of the prison, God did not abandon him. Joseph's story was far from over. The same God who had been with him in Potiphar's house was with him in prison, preparing him for a future beyond what he could have imagined. Applications. Integrity honors God regardless of the outcome. Joseph's refusal to compromise his morals, even at great personal cost, teaches that our commitment to righteousness should prioritize pleasing God over the potential consequences. Flee from temptation. Joseph's response to Potiphar's wife shows the importance of actively avoiding situations that could lead to sin. We must take decisive action to maintain our moral and spiritual integrity. Trust God's presence in trials. Despite being wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph's continued trust in God reminds us that divine presence is not dependent on favorable circumstances. God is with us, even in our darkest moments. God's favor can elevate us in any situation. Joseph's rise to a position of trust as a slave shows that God's favor can transform any situation. No matter how low our starting point, with God's blessing, we can achieve great things. Faithfulness in small things leads to greater opportunities. Joseph's dedication to serving Potiphar with excellence, even as a slave, prepared him for the greater responsibility that awaited him. Our current trials and duties may be God's way of shaping us for future roles, that will have significant impact.